Okay, let us start the lecture of the practical, which is online. We will try to consider few things which are very much important in respect with the data analytics. Okay, what do you mean by a data analysis? A data can be analyzed for the conclusion. Okay, now why conclusion? Concluding a data set will provide certain kind of information, will provide certain kind of result, which can be used for further things, for further improvements, for further processes, for further analysis, for further requirements. Anything can be decided on the basis of conclusion. Okay, that is the first part. Now that is clear why data analytics or why to go for analysis. Now the first part in that is what is grain. Now the grain is a thing with the help of which we can identify the things from the data set. That is already covered. Okay. Now the next thing is why charts. Chart is pictorial presentation of the information. Then there will be the question in your mind, why pictorial information is needed? Pictorial information is needed whenever there is so huge amount of data and we want to segregate or we want to identify or we want to frame the particular patterns on the basis of the frame applied. Okay, in those many cases we need the pictorial representation. Why grain? It's clear. Why pictorial representation? It's clear. Now, pictorial representation is in the form of charts. Okay. What is the dashboard now? Dashboard is combination of several charts. Okay, we will come to that part as well. But for today's lecture, we will start from KPI. What is KPI? KPI is key performance indicator. Why key performance indicator is needed? I'm having a data set. I'm trying to find out the grains. I'm trying to find out the suitable chart for the same. I'm trying to conclude my data set with the particular assumption or the with particular requirement. I'm trying to conclude my data set. Okay. Now, all these things are necessary when we are focusing on data analytics. But KPI, that is key performance indicator, is the most important factor and most crucial factor we must consider for. What is KPI? Key performance indicator. I am saying performance. Okay. Now I have chosen a grain. With that particular grain, I need some columns. Now I will focus on certain columns for deciding certain things, for calculating certain things. My calculation will reflect the certain things on the basis of conclusions. Okay. My calculation will reflect certain things on the basis of conclusion. And that is KPI, key performance indicator. Now, let us focus on this very much. Before proceeding further, I would like to give you an example of KPI. Okay, suppose we are trying to analyze the result of yours in the previous semester. Then the KPI will be your CGPA or the score you achieved. Okay, whenever I am trying to analyze the result with respect to the CGPA, then KPI will be with respect to dimensions. What is dimension? Dimension is used for qualitative analysis. What is qualitative analysis? Where we are not measuring something. Okay, that is called qualitative analysis. Okay, and for doing all these things, the data measurements varies with respect to these KPI we are identifying. with respect to those columns we are identifying for. Okay, these are the qualitative analysis. Now, KPI can be decided with the help of quantitative analysis as well. Okay, while choosing a KPI, we may either decide on the basis of qualitative analysis or on the basis of quantitative analysis. Okay, the KPI can be chosen on the basis of measures and dimensions. As you know, measures can be represented with green color and dimensions are represented with the blue colors. Whenever I am deciding or whenever there is a requirement of deciding the thing with or on the basis of dimensions, the KPI will focus on dimension. When there is a requirement of deciding the things with respect to measures, KPI will be with respect to measures. I would like to clarify it one more time. KPI doesn't just focuses on dimension. KPI just doesn't focuses on measures as well. Sometimes KPI may focus on dimension. Sometimes KPI may focus on measures. Okay, both are possible. Now, when to choose measure for KPI calculation and when to choose dimension for KPI calculation? That is the biggest question now. Okay, now if I want to analyze certain thing or certain process in the form of true and false Boolean values, I will repeat. If I want to analyze certain things in the form of true or false, I will choose the KPI which will contains the dimensions. Okay. But as I said, I want to analyze your result on the basis of grades you achieved. Then I will choose the KPI on the basis of dimensions. Okay. Why? Because grades or dimensions in this case are grades and grades cannot be measured. These are alphabets. Okay, we cannot measure your grades. Okay, but if I want to analyze the result on the basis of marks you scored, in that case, I will not focus on dimensions, rather, I will focus on measures. Okay, so that I can measure your performance on the basis of grades you achieved. Okay, 98.5.99, 99.97, 98 point something, something, something. All these things will be on the basis of measures. You can count them. You can ask or you can tell the certain amount. Okay, I can identify 5 students on the basis of grades. I can identify 5 students on the basis of percentage as well. But while deciding 5 students on the basis of grades, I will choose the KPI as dimension. Now, while choosing or analyzing the top 5 students on the basis of the percentage achieved, I will choose or I will select the measures as KPI. Okay, what is KPI? Are you able to understand what is KPI? KPI is key performance indicator. Key performance indicator, why it's required? Why? Because the key performance indicator is required for concluding certain things with respect to certain thing. Okay? Or concluding something on the basis of certain things. Then KPI is needed. Now let us focus more on the KPI for the dimensions first. Now what is KPI? It's clear. Why to choose green? It's clear. Why to choose the chart? It's clear. Why data analytics? It's clear. Now let us focus more on the grains, on the KPI for dimensions first, and then I will show you the KPI with respect to the measures as well. Okay. First thing, we are looking for the KPI with respect to dimension. Okay. For this, I am having a data set. Firstly, I will show you a data set. My data set, I hope it is visible to you all. I will wait till the screen is visible. I hope my data set is visible to you all. Okay. What is this? This is the data set which is in CSV format. What is CSV? Comma separated values. Now observe this first row. These are things, index, customer ID, first name, last name, company, city, country, phone 1, phone 2, email, subscription date, and website. All these are the names of columns which my dataset is having. As you are able to see, this is the first row of my dataset. These are the first three rows of my dataset. Those dataset consist the index, customer ID, first name, last name, company. For example, this is the index 1, this is the customer ID, and the first name is Sharia, and the last name is Baxter, and the company is something, and so on. Okay. Now this is my data set. This is comma separated value, and extension is, as you able to see, CSV. How many rows it consists? 100. Now I will show you the data set. It's of 101 rows. But why it's showing 100? The first row is of index. That's why there are 100 data or 100 rows in my data set. Okay. First row is of information. That's why we will exclude it. Okay. Now let us focus more on the grain. Let us focus more on the grain. Okay. Now this is the data source. Okay. We are expected to. We will stop for a while. Okay. I hope my data set is visible now. This is the first name. This is the last name, company and country, city and country, phone number, email, subscription date, website, country one. All these are the, what can we say, calculated fields created. Okay. Now my green is city and country performance on the basis of index chosen. I will repeat my green. My green is, okay, I will wait till the screen reflect the changes. Okay, soon the changes will get reflected on the screen. Okay, now I will repeat. My green is city and country performance, city and country performance on the basis of index chosen. Okay, here the index ranges from 0 to 100. Why? Because there are 100 rows, and that's why. Now, we are analyzing our data set on the basis of first is true and false. This is the calculated field contains. Let us check this. What is this? Contains company. The company name is Simon LLC. Let us go to the data source once again. Let us try to analyze the company, whether we have mentioned is present in our data set or not. Company, which company we are trying to identify? There are two ways to identify the company. I will keep in descending so that S will come fast. This is, yes. How many entries are there? 1 and 2. It means I am trying to find out the data set which is having, or I am trying to have the entries in my, trying to identify the entries in my data set with company name as Simon LLC. How many expected true values are? As there are two values in my data set, expected true result is 2. Now, before proceeding further, I would like to focus more on the functions in Tableau. I will wait for the screen is visible. What is the job of contains? Just what is the job of contain? Contain will reflect the data in the form of true or false, or contain will reflect the data as a Boolean value, or result of contains will be in the form of Boolean value. Okay, it means it will reflect the result in the form of true or false. As you are able to see here, this is contains and this is equal to T, the vertical line, and F. It means the expected result is in the form of either true or false. And this is the calculated field. What is the company? As you have already gone through, company is the column. What is Simon LLC? Simon LLC is company name. Okay. Now let us try to analyze the result of this contains on the grain we have chosen or we have selected. I have dragged and dropped that contains in labels. That's why it's showing false, 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 false. Now you will get confused that previously we said there must be true values as well. Okay, try to identify the true values here. Okay, that I will just drag and drop that contents in label once again. The two true values are expected. Okay. I will remove that contains from label once again, and I will drag and drop it. Now that contains in label. Now this is true. Okay. This is the true value and contains in colors as well. Now I will just press the Control Z. Now before dragging and dropping control contains in that colors, in label it's showing true, but we are unable to identify, it's taking time. That's why we will just drag and drop this contents in color. Now it's easy for me to identify. Why? Because true are in orange and false are in blue. My focus will be on true, and that's why, or my focus is on true, and that's why I will just focus on orange. How many oranges are there? 1. Let us try to identify contents is true, and this is 2. Let us try to identify contents is true. How many that company name was? How many entries was there? 2 entries were there. Okay. Let's try to identify it one more time. Simon LLC. 2 entries were there, and it's reflecting just 2 values. Let us try to identify it one more time. These are the 2 values. These are the Simon LLC. Okay. And these are the 2 values reflecting with orange color. Now, there is difference between the static chart and dynamic chart. Static chart, it will not get changed with the or changes we are not verifying with respect to the calculated field, with respect to the filters, with respect to the other things. We are not verifying the changes. In that case, uh, the chart is termed as a static chart. But in our case, we have created the calculated field and we are trying to analyze the result with respect to the calculated field we have created for. And that's why the chart we are representing will be termed as dynamic chart and not the static chart. Why? Because I have created one calculated field contains and I'm trying to observe the result on the basis of the calculated field I have created. Now, I will show you another thing, that is date difference. I will just try to remove this. Now let us analyze the impact of this on our data set. I will try to remove this as well. Now, before some time, there were some values here. Now, these values are not reflecting. Now, this is 242. I'm removing this. Now, this will get removed as well. Now, let us focus to the one more calculated field I have created. A calculated field I have created is a date difference. What is job of date difference? It will analyze the date difference. Here I have mentioned day. What do you mean by day? That is date part. But the expected result in this case will be in the form of numbers. And it will reflect the day. It will reflect the numbers in the form of days. I will repeat. Why day? I am trying to analyze the difference between two dates given, but I am expecting the result in the form of numbers and in the form of days. Okay. Now, the start date for this is 8/24/2020 and the end date for this is 4/23/2021. Always remember, this is the general syntax. Dates must be given with hash at start and at end. In both the cases, we must include hash and two dates must be separated with comma. Okay. And this is the string. It means in which form we are expecting the output that must be given in the form of string, means in the form of day, in the form of year, in the form of month. We can change accordingly. And I want the difference in the form of days. That's why I have included day there. But a day must be in the form of string, and as it's string, its single quote is included. As it's a date, date is represented with hash. Okay. Now let us try to analyze the difference with the calculated field I have created. Date difference in the form of colors. Date difference with respect to the size. Once again, sum of date difference 242. What is result of my calculated field? 242 is the result of my calculated field. Okay. Now date difference in the form of labels. These are all the labels where it's showing the date difference as 242. Okay, done. Now, before proceeding further, we will try to observe this, that 8/24/2020 and 4/23/2021, is it present in our data set or not? There is a Okay, I would like to mention one more thing before proceeding further. When you want to apply any kind of date operations on your data set, it's mandatory that you must have the column of date in your data set. Okay, 8/4/24. 8/4/2020, right? When I will try to arrange it in ascending order, 8/4/2020. And this is the next 4/23/2021. Both the dates are present and I am trying to mark out the difference. I will just repeat it one more time. Which chart I have selected? The chart selected is circle chart. Okay. Now, firstly, what is data set? Data set is a combination of data. It's not mandatory to have a data set in structured format. Okay. The data set we download is always in unstructured format. How can we make it in structured format? For converting the data set in structured format, we have gone through the orange tool. Okay. We have eliminated the null values and so many things we have gone through that we already know. Okay. That is the first part. Now the structured data we are providing to the Tableau. Okay. In that, the first thing is analyze your data set. Okay. Focus. Your data set is representing how many things and how many things can be extracted on the basis of data set you are having. Okay. Now this is the data set which is focusing on first name, last name, company, city, country, phone, email, subscription date, website. Now all these are the additional part. Means my data set is focusing on the customer details on the basis of country, city, and company. I would like to repeat, my data set is representing the customer details on the basis of company, city, and country. Okay. Now, the next thing is we have analyzed a data set. Now, the next thing is choose a grade. I have chosen the grade as city and country performance on the basis of index chosen. City and country performance on the basis of index chosen. Your city is chosen, but it's automatically a Tableau drag that city in the marks. Okay. Now city and country on the basis of index means how many columns are needed? 3 columns are needed. Identify measures and dimension. These are reflected in the sheet as well, but we are already aware about dimensions are shown with the blue and the measures are shown with green. Now the measure is index in my case and dimension is country and city. There are two dimensions and I am focusing on the dimension. Which dimension I am focusing for? For calculated field, I have chosen company. I am focusing the dimension company for my analysis. I am analyzing a company which is Simon LLC. And if I am owner of that Simon LLC, I will come to know that just two countries are there in which my company is there and my company is performing well. Like that. Okay. This is the key performance indicator in my case. Now, this is the date difference. Date difference, I am verifying how much days are spent in the entire part or how much days are the company is enrolled for or the on which website the uh, customers are enrolled. So many possible things will be there. Okay. Now, in my case, my KPI is that particular company, and that's why I have approached and I am trying to analyze the entire set on the basis of this. Okay, and date difference. This is the part. How many days are consumed between 2020 to 2021 with the particular date? These are the two motives in my case. But this is the KPI which is focusing on dimension for the analysis. Okay. Now let us try to find out the KPI which will focus on measures. Okay. Just wait for a while. Within few seconds, I'm sharing my screen as the data set previously used was having the 100 values. It was possible for me to upload or analyze the data set within few seconds. But the data set which I am preferring for the or I have preferred for the KPI with measure is somewhat big, and that's why it will take some more time to upload. Once it's okay, it's uploaded. Uh, Let us have the more impact, or let us try to analyze it with some different things. Okay, now this is the data set, which is the star data set, and which is uploaded by NASA. Okay, now this data set is having several values, but the data set is focusing mainly on the stars and planets. Main focus of this data set is stars and planets. Okay, now first thing is we have analyzed the data set. Okay, I've already analyzed the data set. That's why I'm trying to put the result in front of you. And in your case, you are expected, and that is already done in our case. Now, just you are trying to analyze your data set on the basis of KPI as well. Okay. Now, the grain in my case is DEC count. Okay. For this DEC count, I have chosen two columns. One is bin and another is DEC. And for this DEC and bin, a parameter is used. That's why a graph which is selected is histogram. Okay. Histogram is chosen whenever there is analysis on the basis of a parameter. That is the bullet chart when target is set and analysis is done on the basis of target set, then bullet chart is preferred. Okay, this is the data set and my grain is planet type and planet name. Okay, now I have created a calculated field on the basis of which we are trying to analyze certain things. This is n stars less than 3 and n planets less than 5. I'm having both the values. Let us try to analyze it one more time. N stars, it's having the value 3, and n planets, it's having the value 5. Okay, now when both the conditions are valid or both the conditions are true, then it will reflect normal. In other cases, it will reflect below or excellent. This is the calculated field. Once again, I am trying to observe the result on the basis of this particular calculated field. Now I have dragged and dropped it in size and colors, and the result is showing that below are excellent and the normal, as you are able to see. And the target set in my case is average n star is equal to 2. If the target is below, then also it will reflect. If the target is exceeding the particular thing, then also it will reflect. Here, the target is 3. The normal average expected is 2. It was 3, still it was showing, and it is 2, still it's showing. It's below level, still it's showing. That is the That's why the bullet charts are preferred whenever we are setting the target and we are verifying our result on the basis of target we set. Now, what is dashboard? Dashboard is a collection of several charts. Okay. In my case, I have chosen two charts. Okay. One is DEC count and another is planet type and planet name. Now, KPI in my case for this bullet chart or for this particular data set is the planets and stars. And I'm concluding that which stars or I am concluding on the basis of measures. I'm not considering dimensions in this case. I will repeat. KPI in my case is sum of n planets and n stars. Okay. And these are the two columns I'm considering for my result analysis. Okay. I am truly focusing on measures here. I'm not focusing on dimension. Okay. How can I identify? I'm focusing on measures. These are the measures n stars. These are shown with green color and n planets. Both of them are green. And I am trying to analyze my data set with respect to the measures, two measures I have chosen. Okay. And this is dynamic presentation as we are trying to analyze the difference on the basis of chart we have chosen. Okay. Now this is the particular dashboard. Now dashboard is a combination of charts. My dashboard is, as you are able to observe on screen, my dashboard name is dashboard for DEC and planet. This is the dashboard which is concluding the data set on the basis of DEC and planet both. Okay. Now the next chart is pie chart. I will, okay. And this, for this, the grain chosen is planet Earth and Mars on the basis of orbital period. Okay. And when to prefer the pie chart, as you are already aware about, when we want to reflect a piece or the contribution or percentage of a particular piece with respect to the entire data set. When to choose the stack chart? Stack chart is stacked presentation whenever we are trying to observe the result on the basis of certain things which are varying. And in this case, varying or varying column name is star type. Here, so many colors are shown. For example, M type is shown with the yellow color and K type is shown with the green color and so many G type is with okay and F type is with another color. So many colors are there and the identification is on the basis of colors we have chosen. We are targeting the stars on the basis of star type. Okay. Now this is another dashboard. First dashboard was dashboard with respect to the DEC and planet. Now this is the dashboard which is showing the information of planet and stars. Now coming to the storyboard. Storyboard is a sequential representation of dashboard. I will repeat. What is storyboard? Storyboard is a sequential representation of dashboard. I was in the second story. Let us come to the first story. The first story or sequential story we will proceed for and let us conclude to the data set. Okay, I'm concluding my data set with respect to the planet, stars, and DEC count. Okay, for first dashboard, I am choosing or I have chosen DEC count, planet type, and planet name. Okay, I'm concluding that count of DEC is highest and highest count is 40.7. I'm concluding with the help of bullet chart that is maximum impact of the calculated field. Which was the calculated field? N stars and N planet is on normal. Means maximum value of n stars and n planets will be below the range of 3 and 5. This will be the conclusion on the basis of KPI I have chosen. Okay. And the dynamic chart and the calculated field I have applied for. This is sequential presentation. Now I have concluded the first dashboard or first storyboard of mine. Now let us move for the second storyboard. I'm waiting still till the result will be reflected on your screen as well. Now the result is reflected in your screen. Now let us conclude this storyboard as well. This storyboard is focusing on planet Earth and Mars on the basis of orbital period. I can see or I can conclude that planet Earth and Mars on the basis of orbital period is highest or very long for which color? Yellow. And let us go to the pie chart once again for or the highest what can we say orbital period is 365 plus days plus. I will repeat. I will conclude with this as the highest orbital period is 365 days plus. Okay. This is my conclusion. And the next thing is star and star types. On the basis of star and star types, I can conclude that the mostly considered star age or the star age is 11,524. Mostly the star age is 11,524 and the least impact of star type is on M type. Least impact is on M type and the maximum age is 11,524. These two conclusions can be drawn with the help of this chart or this storyboard. Now let us come to the dynamic dashboard. We have already, dynamic chart, but we have presented it with the KPI with dimensions. We have gone through the KPI with measures. Now let us come back to the KPI with dimensions once again. Now with the help of this chart also, I will be able to conclude certain things. Okay. With the help of calculated field date difference, I can conclude that the date difference between year 2022 and 2021 on an average can be considered as 242. This might be one conclusion and this is shown here. Now let us go to the CC1. Once again, we will try to analyze it. This is the CC1. Okay. I haven't shown you it before. That is find nth. Okay, this is one more function and I am trying to analyze the country which is Aruba. Okay, country which is Aruba and the occurrence is 1. Okay, I will show you one more time. This is the function and the syntax is string, substring and occurrence. String in my case is column name which is country. Substring is Aruba and occurrence is 1. I am trying to find the occurrence of Aruba in my entire dataset. Now the result of this is you are able to observe this 1 and 0. 1 is shown with the square and the rest are 0. There are so many zeros, but we haven't observed that square yet. Now let us try to figure out that square. Now let us try to put this in colors. This is CC1 and the country is Aruba. This is the only one entry and that's why it's shown 1. Now, with this particular calculated field, I'm trying to analyze the performance or occurrence of that Aruba in my entire data set. Okay, but for doing this, I have applied the dimensional measures. Okay, I haven't applied the uh, measures for the calculations. Focus is on dimensions. Okay, and it is the country. Okay, I am trying to focus on Aruba country and occurrence of Aruba country is 1. That's why it's reflecting 1 and it's showing with orange. Okay, this is one more calculated field I have applied for. Then contents, as we have already gone through contents. One more time, I will show it to you that contents is also the company. Company is dimensional. Dimensional analysis. Look at this, ABC. Company is represented with ABC. Previously, we have shown the country. Country and city. These are the location wise. Okay, right? Dimensional analysis we are preferring. And one more dimension. Okay, now let us cover this first and we will go for the next. Dimension we are considering is company. Company is Simon LLC. That previously shown calculated field was not with that country is another data type, and that's why purely two dimensional or calculated field we are considering for this dimensional analysis. One is contents and another is debt difference. This contents is focusing on the company named Simon LLC. I'm trying to analyze the Simon LLC in the form, and the result is in the form of true and false. Contents will show me how many times in my data set that company is present. Once I will drag and drop it in color, it will be easy for me to analyze. That was true first and second. 2 times its presence is 2 times, and that's why it's showing 2 times. Just wait for a while. Yes, my screen is visible one more time. Company named. Let us try to analyze it one more time. This is analysis on the basis of chart. We are not presenting any kind of dashboard. We are not presenting any kind of storyboard. I will repeat, analysis can be presented with the help of dashboard, with the help of storyboard, with the help of chart as well. Okay. Done. And the next thing is KPI. For KPI, we can have dimensions, we can have measures, but on requirement, we can choose whether to choose the dimension or whether to choose the uh, measures. In my case, if the requirement is performance or occurrence of Simon LLC in my dataset, this is suppose this is my requirement. I have to select dimensions. I cannot go for the measures in this case, or it will be easy. I cannot go this is not the thing. I can have the measures as well and I can have dimensions as well, but it will be easier for me to display the result with the help of dimensions in this case. That's why I have chosen the dimension. Now in this case the dimension is Simon LLC and it's representing 2 times. That is 1 and 2. This is the result. And the color is false and true. Color is orange for true. And the occurrence is twice. Within fraction of second, I am able to achieve my requirement. One more time. I will represent this. This is the date difference. Date difference is displaying the day, though the result will be in the form of numericals. The date difference will be calculated in the form of days. Okay, as we have mentioned day. It can be calculated with respect to month and year as well, but I have mentioned day. That's why it's showing me the result in the form of days. Okay. And this date difference is very much important when calculating the differences from particular range, certain fixed range up to the fixed range. And this is applied on so many type of chart, but there is a constraint in my data set. Date is a column which is present. And in any case or in any data set, the date is not present, and where we cannot apply that operations which are dedicated with date. This is one more time. I would like to mention that date is also the dimensional analysis. This is my requirement. If I want to analyze the difference between 2 days in the form of between two dates in the form of days, then I will try to figure out the difference in the form of days with the help of date difference. This is best function, and I would like to mention once again, date is dimension. Okay, we have chosen dimensional analysis for this, and we are concluding that the date difference with a particular date is 242, and the occurrence of that particular company is twice, and one more time, the occurrence of this Aruba is one time. Okay, dimensions are referred for this analysis, and this is the conclusion. Now lastly, I would like to repeat the entire part. Okay, firstly, what is data analysis? Why data analysis is important? For analyzing or concluding certain things, data analysis is important. Okay. Now the data we download or data we use must not be always in the structured form before we use. That's why we must ensure for analysis, actual analysis, the data must be in structured form. But we must ensure whether our data set or data we are trying to analyze will be in the structured form or not. And usually data we download is not in structured form. It is in unstructured form. Now, how to make or how to create the structured form of data set? For that, we have gone through the orange tool. And with the help of that orange tool, for example, we have excluded or we have removed the null entities, and the verified or structured data set we are using. Now that chart or that sheet we get from the, no, we cannot see the chart. That sheet we got from the structured sheet. I will mention we got from the orange tool. We will download and inculcate in the Tableau. Okay. Now with that particular sheet, we will try to analyze the performance with the help of set grain. Okay, what is grain? With the help of grain, we can have, or with the help of grain, that is the small part. By choosing a small part, we are trying to identify the patterns and the variations with respect to the data set. And that's why grains are important. Now, firstly, we have chosen the grain. Then charts will come. What is chart? Chart is pictorial presentation of a particular data. Okay. Why charts? That is the most important thing now. And we want to identify patterns and the variations. Though the data set is huge, but we want to clearly mention the patterns and the variations. Then charts are important. Okay. There are so many rules. Which chart we must use with in which condition, or which chart can be chosen where on the basis of which thing. That is already covered in previous practicals. You can go through the link I have, or the YouTube channel I have posted the particular video. You may go through that video for more clarification. And we have already gone through that multiple times. Okay. In this, the main focus of mine was on, or is, for the today's practical is KPI. Lastly, the KPI. What is KPI? KPI is key performance indicator. What is the purpose of choosing a KPI? Once I have chosen a green, once I have selected the particular columns and rows which are required, and I have chosen the chart as well, then my chart will reflect the chosen column in the form of dimension and measure both. Now, on the basis of requirement, I can choose the dimension for particular analysis, or I can choose particular measures for particular conclusions. In that case, KPI comes into picture. Okay. Or I am putting certain calculated field, and so KPI comes into picture. Okay. Measures and dimensions are clear. KPI with respect to measure and KPI with respect to dimension, that is clear. When to choose the KPI or when to choose dimension for KPI? Whenever we are trying to analyze certain things on the basis of qualitative analysis, then we will select the dimension. But when we are trying to analyze the certain things on the basis of measures, then we will choose the measures for calculation, and we will display the result in the form of measures. And it's not necessary that we have chosen the dimension and result must not be in the form of measures. It can be in the form of measure, it can be in the form of dimension. But on the basis of requirement, we must be in a position to analyze or to choose a particular column or a particular important column, which will give us the analysis or the precise analysis with minimum time by giving the maximum accurate value. And this is the job of KPI. And we must be in a position to identify maximum variations on the basis of KPI we choose. Okay. There is much more, one more point which I would like to mention is there are two chart types. One is one is dynamic and another is static. Okay. Static chart is a chart where differences are not analyzed. No, I cannot say differences are not analyzed. Okay. Differences are not analyzed on the basis of the filters, on the basis of calculated fields. Variations are not analyzed on the basis of calculated field, on the basis of filters, or on the basis of so many other things. Okay. In that case, the chart is called static. Once the values are shown, we are not trying to analyze the difference. These charts are called static chart. What is dynamic chart then? In dynamic chart, we will try to analyze a grain. We will try to identify a grain. We will try to focus more on the particular column, which will, which may impact or which may show us the result in more precise, in more clear way. Okay. And that those particular things we are trying to consider, and we are trying to move forward. This is the dynamic chart where we are trying to analyze the variations on the basis of different things. This is the static and dynamic chart. Once again, I would like to focus on the dashboard and storyboard. Why dashboard? Dashboard is a, okay. Okay. The results are reflected on your screen as well. What is dashboard? Dashboard is a combination of several charts. Okay. And dashboard will have conclusion on the basis of two or more charts. Okay. And what is storyboard? Storyboard is okay, I will wait till the changes are reflected on your screen, though I have already shown, but still. What is storyboard? Storyboard is a sequential representation of dashboard. I will repeat. What is chart? Chart is pictorial representation of the data. What is dashboard? Dashboard is a combination of several charts. What is storyboard? Storyboard is a combination of different dashboard, but they are arranged in sequence so that we will be in a position to conclude our data set with particular sequence of dashboards. And that's why storyboards are required. And basically, KPIs are important for concluding a data set on the basis of certain things. We are assuming it as important. It will impact on our data set. One more thing I would like to focus more is it's not mandatory that my KPI must always show the positive result always. I would like to repeat it. It's not mandatory that my KPI must show the positive result always. It is possible for me that it is quite possible that my KPI will show the negative result as well. Okay. The KPI job is verify the result. Okay. Our assumption will be like that. My data set will reflect or my data set will conclude this particular thing. But on the basis of KPI we choose, on the basis of calculated field we choose, the result might be different. Now we can conclude. Priorly, assumption was this. Now, by setting the KPI, by setting the calculated field with respect to the dimension, with respect to the measures, analyze the KPI with respect to the dimension, with respect to the measures both. Okay, and then try to conclude your data set. And this is the particular part which we must focus or we must take into consideration. Okay, now I hope you are in a position to answer the particular question, or there will be a question and answer round for this particular session. Okay. I will stop presenting my screen now, and different questions I will like to ask. Okay, now just give me 1 minute for this, and we will start the question and answer session. Okay, anyone check whether the chart I am showing is visible to you? You can respond in WhatsApp group. I will check the WhatsApp group, don't worry. Anyone among you can respond on the WhatsApp group. Is the chart visible to you? Okay, okay, no worries. Okay, for the question and answer round, okay, just wait for a while. Now, I have posted one question. Okay, till wait. I have posted one question. Is it visible to you all? Anyone is expected to answer? I have posted one question. Is it visible? Okay, you are expected to observe in Q&A, means question and answer. Click on question and answer tab, and then you will be able to analyze. There is QA. Go to the QA tab. Yes, that is visible. What is KPI? How to go to the QA tab? Shall I tell you? Shall I? Okay. Go to the more. There is chat, people share views, meeting views, and Q&A. I hope it is visible. Have anyone tried Q&A? Question and answer. Yes, it is visible. Okay. Then you all are expected to respond in Q&A. What is KPI? I will frame certain questions on KPI. You are all are expected to comment on the questions I have posted, and your responses will be considered within 5 minutes, not more than 5 minutes. Okay. I am posting questions. You are expected to answer. Answer there. Who is the person? I posted the question. Now I'm posting one more question. Now you all are expected to answer all the three questions. And your time starts now. No, just don't type that key performance indicator. No, I need somewhat brief explanation. Let me see. Narendra, Ajinkya, and Gaurav posted key performance indicator. Yes, it is true, but I need more elaborated answer for this. What is KPI? The second question is KPI with respect to dimension and measure. And third is static and dynamic dashboard. And I would like to ask one more question. The student who are responding will be treated as present in today's practical. Rest students will be treated as absent. I hope it is clear. It will not consume the huge network or huge data for responding with Q&A. Very nice. Three responded to first. Narendra, Ajinkya, and Gaurav responded. Very good. And what about the rest questions? When to choose KPI with respect to measure and when to choose the KPI with respect to dimension? That is the question. You can write it on the page and pen and you can upload your answer. That is also possible. Okay? No. In question and answer, yes, it is possible to upload. There is the button of upload. You can upload the answer in the written format as well. It's 2:31. Now, the time given to you is till 2:45. You can type, you can write it on page and pen. Both the things are possible. And the answer will be accepted in both the forms. For second question, no one is answered. For third question and for fourth question as well. Why storyboard? That is one question. Static and dynamic dashboard. What is difference? That is one more question. And KPI with measures and KPI with dimension. That is one more question. Okay. Am I audible now? Ajinkya? Am I audible now? Okay, I will repeat the instructions. I have posted. Okay, no worries, no worries. There is one tab named Q&A. You are expected to click on that tab. Okay, and I have posted the few questions for you. What is KPI? Uh, Narendra, Ajinkya, and Gaurav responded, but they have responded just the long form of KPI. I'm not expecting the answer in just a long form. Okay. I am expecting the answer in somewhat elaborated form. Okay. That is, what is KPI? Why KPI? You can say it as what is KPI, and you are expected to type it in your words. Don't refer the chat GPT, don't refer the Gemini or Copilot. All these things are not expected. Now, the second question is KPI with respect to the measures and dimension. Means when I will choose the KPI with respect to measures, when I will choose the KPI with respect to dimension. That is the one question. And another question is what is difference between static and dynamic dashboard? That is another question. And why storyboard? That is the last question. You all are expected to respond to all the questions in Q&A within, it's 2:36. I have given you the time till 2:45, but okay, I can understand. Okay, okay, I got your concern. Okay, okay. Okay, now I will announce the name. That particular person will just expected to unmute yourself and okay, elaborate. No one, no one other is expected to unmute the mic. Okay, I will repeat. I will announce the name of particular person. That person is just expected to unmute and answer the question. No other student will unmute self. Okay. The first question is to, okay, let us start from Ajinkya. Ajinkya, you can unmute yourself. Ajinkya, are you able to unmute self? Okay. Okay, no worries, no worries. Okay, we can do one more thing. I will, okay, I will read all the 3, 4 questions to you. Okay, now you are expected to write those questions and you are expected to answer all those questions before 3:10. I will repeat. I will repeat all the 3, 4 questions You are expected to take a page and pen, make a PDF, and you are expected to respond it or post that particular PDF on WhatsApp group before 3:10. Is it clear? Is it possible? Yes. The questions are already posted by Sarah Sheikh. Excellent, Sarah. Excellent job. What is storyboard? What is the at? Oh, no, she haven't posted the question. She have posted the answers. Very nice. Okay, I will post the questions. What is KPI? That is my first question. What is KPI? That is my first question. Now the second question is when to choose a KPI or when to decide KPI or how to decide KPI with dimension or measures use. Okay, and which one will we must prefer? Okay, and the third question is don't Ajinkya, stop. Sorry, but I am deleting the post which is posted by you. Why? Because I am posting the questions. So I insist everyone to have some patience. Okay, have some patience. I am posting the questions. Okay. Static and dynamic dashboard. What is the difference? Okay, that is the next question. And last question is why storyboard? Why storyboard? Now, I hope everyone is clear with the questions. It's 2:42, right? The time given is till 3:10. Ajinkya, you may post now. Ajinkya, you may post now. I hope Ajinkya was trying to reply to the QA and he replied there. He was posting a screenshot of the same. No, he replied for a question. Handwritten will also be okay, Ajinkya. Means that will be that will be easy for uniform analysis. So okay. Just take a page and write all the things with page and pen. Make a PDF, post it with your PRN WhatsApp group. If all the questions are right, then only you will be considered present for today's practical. And those who are having laptop with them, try to analyze the KPIs, try to figure out the important columns, try to analyze the dynamic dashboards, dynamic storyboards, dynamic chart. On the basis of KPI chosen, try to identify the conclusions on the basis of KPIs and calculated fields and filters, so many things. Try to conclude before and after. Try to identify the variations which I have assumed before and which I observed post calculating, post setting the KPI. All the things are necessary. Those who are having laptop, then do it at home. If you are, in case you are not having laptop, then you can discuss with each other with the help of telephonic communication. If it's not possible, then we will try to figure it out when the college will be offline. I hope what is KPI is clear to you all. The KPI can be with the help of dimensions. The KPI can be with the help of measures. That is also clear as well. When to use dashboard, why to use storyboard, that is also clear in this particular session. And the chart, which chart we must choose with respect to which thing, means how can we choose a particular chart, that is already covered, and I have posted the link. Okay, I want to announce one more thing. As Ajinkya CR is there, it will be easier for me to announce, and I assure that the notice will be surely circulated with the students. Okay. Once you join the college in offline mode, there will be the data visualization IA activity. I will announce it one more time. Once you joined the college in offline mode, there will be the IA activity for data visualization. Okay. For that IA activity, the syllabus is case study will be given to you. On the basis of the case study given, you are expected to identify the data set. On the identified data set, you are expected to perform the joins, left join, right join, the inner join, full outer join, all the four joins you are expected to cover. Third thing is you are expected to identify the grains. On the basis of grain chosen, you are expected to identify the measures and dimensions. Now, the fourth thing is you are expected to draw the charts on the basis of grain chosen. Now, for the third thing, I would like to add one more thing. While choosing the dimensions and the measures, or while mentioning the dimensions and measure, you are also expected to mention the dimensions and measures on the basis of KPI. And while drawing the chart, also you are expected to apply the KPI there. Means these column I uh, choose as an important column, and I am implementing the calculated field on those, and the result is verified and the result varies with this particular amount or with the particular dimension. On the basis of dimension or on the basis of the measures, you can choose. You can choose with your own that whether the KPI will focus on the measures or whether the KPI will focus on the dimension. All these things you can decide. Okay. And I will repeat the notice once again, and I hope Ajinkya will surely circulate the notice to all the students that once the college will be in offline mode, you have to go through the IA activity of data visualization, which will be one and only one graded activity for the data visualization. Okay. Ajinkya, shall I consider it 100% that Ajinkya will circulate this message to all the students? Yes, Ajinkya, you are expected to respond on WhatsApp group. Yes, there are few responses I received, and the responses are okay. When KPI dimension and measure used when need uh, qualitative value track process measures, and the dimension were used when need to categorize those value. Okay. Why storyboard used to process before it is built? Okay. Why? What is KPI? Key performance indicator. It tracks the process towards a specific measurable goal. Don't For what is KPI? Rest answers are okay, but who have posted first? Okay, answers are okay, but what is KPI? You have written it, written the answer not with the practical touch. Rest answers are with practical touch, with understandings, and for KPI, you have written the answer which is e-specific, means e-learner. Okay, what is storyboard? Sequential presentation of dashboard. What is KPI? Key performance indicator used to prove whether the result is correct or not. Okay, you can measure or you can compare. I would like to say KPI can measure or KPI can compare. Both is possible with the help of KPI. How to decide KPI with the dimension or measure use? True and false used in dimension in KPI, grades used to measure in KPI. Okay, whenever we want to use the reflect the KPI in the form of grades, then dimensions are used to mean it. And whenever we want to prove the or reflect the result in the form of marks, then the KPI in the form of measures will be used. Okay, static and dynamic. Static, it is fixed. Differences are not analyzed. Very nice. And dynamic, we try to identify the grain to give the result. Okay, in a clear way. Naren, AJ, Gaurav. Gaurav, key performance indicator is it is used to decide or curve whether the result is what will be the result is. Okay. Dimension, KPI measures and dimension. Measure, numerical calculated value, very nice. And dimensions, when data or category, very good. Uh, Difference between static and dynamic. Static, show the fixed data, and dynamic, interactive, very nice. Why storyboard? It presents the data in sequence of occurrence, and a storyboard in collection and several dashboards. Storyboard is a collection of several dashboards, okay? But storyboard is a collection of several dashboards maintained in sequence, okay? So that sequential conclusion will be possible, okay? Now, Prasad, static dashboard displays the information specific in time when it is fixed. Okay. KPI measures and dimension in data analysis, dashboard design, KPI dimensions and measures are uh, okay. Nice answers. Just very nice, very nice. I hope all of you understood what is KPI and why to use KPI and when to prefer KPI with respect to dimensions, when to prefer the KPI with respect to the measures, what will be the impact of that KPI on your conclusion, what is storyboard, what is the dashboard, why storyboard, all these things are cleared with today's practical. Okay, in case there are any question or queries, then I will wait for. In case there are no queries or question, we will end here. I will wait for 1 minute. So many of you have responded on the WhatsApp. That's nice. Those who have responded will be treated as present. Those who haven't responded anything will be treated as absent for today's practical. Okay, no worries. You may post the PRN's letter as well. I hope someone is asking a question. That's why I am waiting for. KPI can be with the help of dimensions and KPI can be with the help of measures as well. Okay, static and dynamic dashboard. Okay, if I want to present the data of previous year, just I want to mark out the differences. Okay, analysis are possible, everything is possible, but the previous values will not get changed. But okay, the cricket match is currently going on, and I want to analyze the current score, the current wicket, the current things. Then currently it's going on, and we are trying to analyze the things. That is the dynamic dashboard. And also the data, uh, which is historical data, which will never get changed, but we can analyze. Okay. Don't worry, I will explain in brief what is static and what is dynamic dashboard in brief in my next session so that you will be in a position to identify the clear things. And I will post the video on YouTube as always, and you will be in a position to clear your doubts. Okay? Uh, any more thing? If in case the questions are over, then we will stop this meet. We will end this meet.